Hey everybody, welcome to day 3. I want to tell you, if you started your sobriety journey actually with your program, so you're actually on day 3 of being sober, day 3 is hard. It can be really hard. Not so much what I'm presenting to you, just the physical withdrawals process. If it's hard, reach out. Please reach out to somebody. If you don't have anybody to reach out to, go to bravingthejourney.com, email me directly, and let's talk. Reach out. Because day 3 on the physical side can be a really, really hard day. Now, if you're someone that's maybe been sober for a little bit, or you've been in and out of sobriety and you're journeying through this, but you go, hey, I want to not just be sober, I want to have a better life, and you're on day 3, whatever it is, I just want to say congratulations to be on day 3. You know, day 1 we looked at courage. It takes courage to go through this. Day 2 we talked about admitting the fact that we have an unhealthy relationship with alcohol. And then day 3 kind of fits in with day 2 because I think it's so important that I want to spend 2 days on it, because everything rides on the fact that you're able to admit and accept. And so we're talking about acceptance today. And to do that, I guess I want to tell you a story. All right, so once upon a time, I have 3 kids, and so I tell a lot of stories to them, but just humor me with the story. So, once upon a time, there was a guy, and he was a man that every day from his house where he lived in this very dry, kind of desolate area, but he would walk 2 miles down this dirt road to the well to get water for the day. And as he'd walk down, he had the big stick across his back with the 2 jars that would hang from his stick. And he would walk with empty jugs. And he would walk to the well, and he would get there, and he'd fill up both jugs of water, and it was enough for the day. And he would put them back in his slings, and he would walk back. And as he would walk back, the 2 jars began to have a conversation with each other. Now, the jar on the left side of the man, from the outward appearance, was perfect. No cracks, no nothing. It was just pretty. And the jar on the right side of the man had these little imperfections, or these little cracks, these little things that it's had the moments where it went through life, and there were some tough parts to it. So the perfect looking jar would always find himself making fun of the jar on the right. Hey, you have one thing to do in life. You have one job, and you can't even do it right. You keep spilling water. Water keeps slowly dripping out of you. You're broken. You're worthless. I don't know why the man carries you every day. I don't know why you're with him. I'm perfect. Look at me. I do what I'm told. I do everything. I bring the water back full, complete, and perfect. And so the jar on the right began to believe everything he heard from the jar on the left, that he was broken, that he was useless, that he had nothing to offer anymore. And so one day, the jar finds the courage to speak up to the man. And he says, "Sir, I don't understand why you still use me. I don't understand why you haven't replaced me. I don't understand, because I'm broken and I have a lot of flaws." And the man said, "I want you to pay attention today." So as they walked to the well, filled up the water, they began to walk back. And the man said, "Do you see the right side of the road? What used to be all covered in just dust and rocks and dirt?" He says, "Every day as we'd walk, I would throw seeds out onto the right side of the road, and you would water those seeds. Your imperfections, your drips, your slow little drips, now look." And as the jar finally gazed up and realized and looked, the right side of the road was covered in flowers and beauty. The left side was still nothing. So I tell you this story today because I want to be able to come to a place of accepting that no one is perfect, right? We are all broken in some way. We have all had trauma. We have all had something in our past that has caused heartache inside of who we are. We may have caused it ourselves, upon ourselves, but there's brokenness to us. But what I want you to hear, that through our brokenness comes beauty. Perfection isn't it. It's not this perfect thing where we've never screwed up or never messed up or done anything like the jar on the left. We are the jar on the right, you guys. But until we're able to accept our brokenness, and see what beauty can come out of this. See, our brokenness is that we have an unhealthy relationship with alcohol, that we have abused it, we have hurt others around us. But I promise you, when we begin to figure out how to deal and overcome this and begin to change the inside of who we are, begin to see the beauty, begin to see what potentially can come. I'm not saying we're going to make our jars perfect, guys. We're not going to make our lives this shiny thing to show the world and go, look how perfect everything is now. No. But what we can begin to do is go, where do we find beauty in the brokenness? Where do you find beauty going through this challenge? I know for me, accepting that I was an alcoholic or accepting I had an issue with alcohol was really hard. Because what it was a pride issue. It was me saying, oh, I have to accept the fact that I'm broken. And now I'm sober, and I can easily accept the fact that I'm broken. There's a lot of areas in my life that I continually know that I need to grow and work and become better in. But I also know that I can be used for good for myself, others around me, and for this world, even in my brokenness. I'm never going to be perfect. But can you today accept that we are going to work on fixing this one piece of brokenness, that you drink too much? You abuse alcohol too much, and it has hurt those around you. So let's figure out how to heal that one. And through our brokenness, it's still being able to find beauty and begin to love ourselves again and love others again. Acceptance. What area in your life do you need to accept right now? What is it? I mean, maybe you have some time of sobriety. Maybe there's been some sobriety, but there's areas that you're like, wow, I need to accept the fact that even though I've gotten sober, I'm still an asshole. Maybe that's it. Maybe you're still mean to people. Maybe you need to accept the fact that the damage you caused with inside of your marriage isn't fixed just because you're sober. But there's more that you need to do to work on yourself to change that. Maybe it is the fact that you're finally accepting the fact that you struggle with alcohol and you can't ever drink again. Or you can't drink at least for the next 30 days and see what life happens. I don't know what it is for you today that you have to accept, but sit with it. Journal it out again. Write it out, you guys. Sit down. Clear your mind. What do I need to accept today about yourself? Not about others. This isn't about others. This is about you. This right here, it's not accepting that, oh, my spouse is a terrible person, or my kids caused me to drink because they're out of control, or my boss at work, if I had a better boss, I'd be fine. Don't blame everybody else. What do you need to accept about yourself today?